first sample input output, and then we read the task, and to understand what exactly the problem we are going to solve. It saves time dramatically. Okay, so the task is Raghu is a shoe shop owner. His shoe has X number of shoes. His shop has X number of the shoes. He has a list containing the size of each shoe he has in his shop. There are n number of customers who are willing to pay xi amount of money only if they get the shoe of their desired size. Okay, and your task is to compute how much money Raghu earned. All right, so Raghu has a shop with X number of the shoes, and also there's a list to telling what are the exactly size available among that X number of the shoes, right? And then next is again n number of the customers who are willing to pay X amount of money only if they get the shoes of their desired size. So that means if the size which the customer wanted is available, then the deal is done, and Raghu is going to earn that amount of money, yeah, like xi. Otherwise, the deal cannot be done. And then at the end, we need to output the result of the accumulated amount of money that's earned by Raghu. Right. So now let's look at the input format. Okay, so the first line contains X, the number of the shoes. Okay, so for example, this X, now in this case, X is 10. And then the second line contains the space separated list. So whenever we see space separated, we may have to use split function. Okay, yeah, and the list of all of the shoe size in the shop. Okay, so whenever we see the list of all of the shoe size, we should be aware to use for loop in this case. All right, so like in this example, there are this much different number of the size of the shoes available, and if we pay attention to that, we will know that this number shouldn't be in ascending or descending order. It can be any order randomly. Yeah, and beside that, you can see some number like 5, yeah, 6 is repeated. It doesn't have to be unique. Yeah, okay. So disordered by the size of the shoe. Okay, so then the third line contains n the number of the customers. That means afterwards, yeah, like in this example, there are 6 customers. Then it is again user input, and the next n lines contain the space separated value of shoe size desired by the customer and the xi, the price of the shoes. So like in the following, we should repeat for 6 times and enter the size and with the price, the size of the customer dessert, and also the price of the customer, which customer we need to pay, and we need to repeat for 6 times. Yeah, and so that is a sample input, and then the output is we need to calculate the amount of money earned by Raghu. Okay, and here's constraints. Yeah, like for shoe size is between 4 to 20, and the number of the customer is 20 to 100. Okay, this is not important. Yeah, and now let's read the explanation. So like for the, maybe we start from here. So the first customer first customer, he purchased size 6 shoes for $55. Yeah, and then like when we write the algorithm, we should kind of check whether 6 is available. Yeah, 6 is available, and there is done. And then like we make the counter of the incomes as 55 here. Yeah, because the deal is done here. And then the second one wants size 6 again. Yeah, there are 2 size 6 available, and then there is again done, and he's paying 45. Yeah, and then the third one again wants 6, but there is only 2 sixes among the list, and yeah, so it's not available, and then we cannot add 55 here, and we skip to the next. So the next is 4, and 4 is exactly 1 available, and then we just again add 40 here, and then the last okay, so yeah, and then the fifth one is 18. There is 118 size available, and then we add 60 here, and then the last customer wants size 10, but size 10 is not available, and then we skip it, and we return 55 plus 45 plus 40 plus 60, 200 as the output. All right, this is basically the logic of the task. Okay, all right, now let's start. Okay, so and maybe before start, we can briefly look at the explanation. So a counter is a container that shows elements as dictionary keys, and their counts are stored as dictionary values. Okay, yeah. So this is basically the function. Maybe we probably don't have to use all of them, but I guess this code is very important because we need this library import. We need this library to implement counter. Yeah, and then okay, so and then first of all is the what? Yeah, the first line contains X, the number of the shoes. Okay, so we can write shoes number, yeah, is equals to yeah, we should take the user input, right? So because if we directly put input here, like the by default the input in Python is string, so but we need an integer, so that's why we use integer to convert. We use this function to convert. Okay, and then next is then the second line. Yeah, the next is to input the list of the different sizes of the shoes. Okay, so in this case we probably need to, this is equals to, yeah, we need to use map, the function map that can implement the list. Okay, int, yeah, int is to, yeah, so the first int is definition. Okay, so yeah, input, and then dot. Yeah, because here there is the different spaces as a gap. So in order to make the algorithm realize there is a space, that's why we need to use split function. Yeah, and then put one space here. I think that's fine. So this is these are the shoe size, and then the next is the number of the customer. Yeah, n9 of the third line contains n the number of the customer. Okay, cost equals to, yeah, same. We use int. Okay. And then the next, because we are going to implement uh, the dictionary, right? The counter. So we should, as I mentioned, use a for loop. Yeah, because here is kind of repeat after you enter the number of the customer, and it repeats for 6 times, and each times it counts the size, dessert, and also the price that the customer is willing to pay as well, right? So range customer number, sorry, customers number. Sorry, yeah, no, it's fine. Okay, so because so this one, the first element is size, and second is the price, right? So we can use a function size comma price equals to map. Yeah, map is is again, we want to use list. Yeah, the first is int. Yeah, so this is similar as this one. The first int, we define the data type of the element, and then because this is kind of user input, we take user input. Yeah, so we use input, and then because here is a space, so we use split, and then put one space. There's a gap. Yeah, that's all right. And then the next is we need to check if because like every time when the customer wants a size, so we need to check whether the size is available on the list, right? Is on the list, right? So we can use this one size. Yeah, we can use shoes is basically the list that we have implemented. We have already implemented, and the shoes, and then size is and then size, the size is the size here. It's kind of we check whether it is greater than 0. And then because first of all we should write we should set a default income value as the output. So here the income, so then only here the income can be income plus price. Yeah, plus the price which the customer is willing to pay. And then shoes size is equals to shoes size minus 1. Because for example here, if one customer takes 6, and then before it was 2, and one is if one is taken, it becomes less, right? Yeah, so that's very good. And then we print income, and then let's try to run it. Okay, runtime error. The map is not subscribable. Yeah, that. So don't worry. Why is because here, because the topic of this algorithm is of this challenge is to use counter, right? So we have to use counter here. So like we should counter, use counter, yeah, to cover it. And why is because here, like as you see, yeah, here as you see, so if a person type a list of some number with repeat with random order, and then after we type count, it will automatically order it to like to group, as you said, dictionary keys, like how many number of the like for example here for two there are 1 2 3 4, yeah, for two there are 4 twos, and the 3 there are 1 2 3 4, again 4 3, and 1 1 2 3, yeah, likewise. And so that's why in our example, because we need to first to order it, it cannot be this much mess, right? So after implement counter, like in this example, so it will automatically group it, and to count, like for two there is one shoes with size 2, and three shoes with size 1. Also sorry, one shoes with size 3, and one shoes size 4, two shoes with size 5, and two shoes with size 6, or likewise. So that's the reason why it's very important. And so after we make this, the original input will be converted into this case, and then in this case, like there would be two keys, like maybe for example the first one would be called as the okay sorry yeah, yeah, so the first can be called as the keys, and the second can be called as the contents. So